Hello, friends. If you're curious about the movie Gone in 60 Seconds from 2000, you're in the perfect place. Don't forget to give this video a quick like, it really helps us out. And if you're new here, hit subscribe to stay updated on all the latest movie deep dives. Let's jump right in. There's something about the pulse of a city at night, the way shadows slip between steel and neon, that sets the perfect stage for stories of speed, adrenaline, and desperation. This film dives deep into that world, a thrilling ride through the underground realm of car thieves, where every second counts and the roar of an engine is a call to freedom and risk. The air crackles with tension from the moment the camera begins to trace the sleek curves of high-performance cars glinting under city lights. It's a movie that doesn't just show you car theft. It immerses you in it, making you feel the weight of every decision, the thin line between loyalty and betrayal, and the stakes that can flip in an instant. At its core, the story revolves around a man who once ruled this world, an expert thief who knows the ins and outs of every model, every escape route, every trick in the book. But the past is never far behind. He's been out of the game, trying to live a quieter life, but fate drags him back into the whirlwind of neon-lit streets and midnight races. When a brother's life hangs in the balance, the lines blur, and the only way out is through the fast lane. The movie doesn't just race through car chases. It explores a man's relentless commitment to family and the sacrifices he must make. The plot itself unfolds like a high-octane puzzle, pieces falling into place with a relentless tempo. The story bursts open with the return of the protagonist to the life he thought he'd left behind. He's pulled back not by desire, but by necessity. His brother, tangled in debt and danger, needs a rescue that only a thief with unmatched skills can pull off. The mission: steal 50 high-end cars in just a few days, an impossible feat that tests every ounce of cunning and speed. The clock is ticking, and every car taken is a step closer to saving his brother's life. But this isn't just a simple heist movie. The narrative weaves through the complexities of trust and deception. The team behind the thefts isn't just a gang of criminals. They're a family, a motley crew bound by shared history and mutual respect, each with their own quirks and scars. You watch as tensions rise, alliances shift, and the adrenaline-fueled mission puts their bonds to the ultimate test. Just when you think you have the story figured out, the film flips the script. Twists emerge, revealing hidden motives and double-crosses that keep the audience guessing. The city itself becomes a character, a labyrinth of highways, alleys, and garages where the stakes are life and death. Every chase scene is a symphony of screeching tires and flashing lights, choreographed chaos where seconds stretch and snap in a breathtaking ballet of risk. The sheer scale of the operation, the sheer number of cars, the meticulous planning, the near-miraculous escapes, creates a sense of urgency that never lets up. It's a race against time, but also against a system that's closing in from all sides. And amidst the roar of engines and the clatter of gears, the story never loses its heart. It's about loyalty, about the lengths we go for those we love. The brotherly bond at the center adds a layer of emotional gravity that grounds the story, reminding us that beneath the chrome and speed lies a deeply human struggle. The protagonist's journey is as much about redemption as it is about survival. A man chasing not just stolen cars, but a chance to make things right. As the plot hurtles toward its climax, every character's true colors come into focus. Friendships are tested, secrets unravel, and what seemed like a straightforward mission becomes a complex game of survival and sacrifice. The final sequences are a heart-pounding crescendo where speed meets consequence, and the price of freedom is revealed in full. You're left breathless, not just from the action, but from the emotional intensity that courses through every frame. This is a movie that captures the raw essence of risk, the thrill of the chase, the tension of the unknown, and the undying hope that drives people to push beyond limits. It's a story where cars aren't just machines, they're symbols of escape, power, and identity. And as the credits roll, you're left reflecting on the price we pay for the things that truly matter, and the speed at which life can change. Prepare yourself for a journey filled with neon-lit nights, thunderous engines, and a story that moves as fast as the cars on screen. It's a tale about risk and loyalty, about the ties that bind us and the risks we take when everything is on the line. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. The night begins with a restless pulse, the city breathing in rhythm with the engines that echo through its dark veins. A man stands quietly, watching from the shadows, the weight of his past settling over him like a thick fog. He had walked away from this life once, leaving behind the adrenaline, the danger, and the endless chase. But the streets never forget, and neither do those tied to him by blood and history. The story opens with him living a quiet existence, far from the chaos of his former world. His days are calm, almost painfully ordinary, but beneath that calm lies a restless spirit. There's a tension in his eyes, a flicker of something unspoken, as though the road is still calling him home. His younger brother, wild and reckless, is the spark that threatens to reignite that fire. Trouble has found its way to the family's doorstep, and with it, the echoes of debts unpaid and promises broken. When the call comes, urgent and desperate, there's no hesitation. He knows what's at stake. His brother has made mistakes, ones that have put him in the crosshairs of people who don't forgive or forget. It's a world of shadows and whispered threats, where one wrong move can mean the end. The protagonist is pulled back, not by choice, but by the unbreakable bond of family. The mission is clear, brutal in its simplicity. 50 cars, stolen in 3 days. Impossible, dangerous, and desperate. As the plan takes shape, the audience is introduced to the crew, each member a reflection of the life they lead, skilled and seasoned, with their own scars and stories. There's the mechanic, who understands every inch of a car's soul, tuning engines like a maestro. The wheelman, whose nerves are steel and reflexes lightning. The tech wizard, whose fingers dance over gadgets and security systems, and others, all brought together by loyalty and necessity. Their camaraderie feels genuine, the easy banter a sharp contrast to the high stakes lurking beneath every word. Preparation is meticulous. The group pores over blueprints, studies security systems, and memorizes escape routes. The city itself is mapped and remapped, highways, backstreets, and alleys forming a labyrinth that will either save them or trap them. There's a tension in the air as plans are made, knowing full well that even the smallest mistake could unravel everything. Each car on the list is a prize, a challenge, and a potential trap, requiring skill, patience, and nerves of steel. The first heist bursts into motion with a sudden rush of speed and precision. It's a dance of shadows and light as cars are taken in swift, silent maneuvers. The protagonist slips behind the wheel, his hands steady, his mind sharp. The city blurs past in streaks of color as he pushes the machine to its limits, feeling the familiar rush of power beneath him. The crew works like a well-oiled machine, each member playing their part perfectly. The first few cars fall like dominoes, a testament to their expertise and coordination. But the thrill is shadowed by the looming presence of law enforcement and rival criminals, both closing in with relentless determination. The police are no ordinary force. They're a special unit, obsessed with catching this elusive group, bringing an intensity that matches the thieves' own. Each chase becomes a battle of wits and reflexes, the city streets turning into a playground of danger. The tension rises palpably as narrow escapes leave little room for error, and every siren's wail is a reminder of the razor-thin margin between freedom and capture. Complications begin to surface. Not all is smooth within the crew. Old grievances and new doubts begin to creep in. The brother, reckless and impulsive, stirs trouble, risking exposure and endangering the mission. Trust becomes a fragile thing, tested by the weight of the impossible task ahead. The protagonist finds himself torn between his role as a leader and his responsibility as a brother, navigating the delicate balance of authority and compassion. As the list of stolen cars grows, so does the scale of their operation. Each vehicle is a different challenge, a rare model hidden behind layers of security, guarded by technology and men. The film takes time to revel in these moments, showing the ingenuity and daring required to pull off each theft. There's an artistry to the process, a blend of skill and nerve that elevates the story beyond mere crime thriller. The cars become characters themselves, symbols of speed, power, and the fleeting nature of freedom. Meanwhile, the forces against them tighten the noose. The special police unit steps up their game, deploying tactics that push the crew to their limits. Surveillance cameras, roadblocks, and undercover agents create a web of obstacles that demand constant adaptation. Each near miss is a jolt of adrenaline, a reminder that the game they're playing is deadly serious. The protagonist's every move is shadowed, forcing him to rely on instinct and experience to stay one step ahead. Amidst the chaos, moments of quiet humanity emerge. The brothers' vulnerability shines through, a reminder that beneath the reckless exterior lies a desperate need for help. Their interactions crackle with tension and unspoken fears, a raw portrayal of family under pressure. It's these emotional undercurrents that give depth to the story, anchoring the wild pace in something profoundly real. The protagonist's determination to save his brother becomes a powerful driving force, lending urgency and heart to the narrative. As the midpoint approaches, the stakes escalate dramatically. The mission teeters on the edge of collapse, stretched thin by growing pressure and internal strain. A close call with the police leaves the crew shaken, the cracks in their armor starting to show. The tension between loyalty and survival sharpens, foreshadowing betrayals and sacrifices yet to come. The city, once a playground, now feels like a trap tightening around them all. Suddenly, an unexpected betrayal shakes the team. Someone close to the protagonist reveals a hidden agenda, threatening to unravel everything they've built. The trust that held them together fractures, sending shockwaves through the group. This revelation adds a new layer of danger, not just from the law, but from within. The protagonist must confront not only external threats but also the shadows lurking in the hearts of those he trusted most. In response, the protagonist doubles down, his resolve hardening. The stakes are no longer just about cars or money. They're about survival, loyalty, and redemption. Every heist from this point forward carries the weight of personal vendettas and fractured alliances. The pace quickens, the tension ratchets higher, and the city's neon glow becomes a harsh spotlight on their perilous existence. The brother's plight worsens, the threats against him becoming more violent and immediate. The protagonist's urgency turns desperate, his every action fueled by the ticking clock and the need to protect family at all costs. The film captures this urgency with visceral intensity, immersing the audience in the relentless pressure bearing down on the team. The city at night becomes a battleground, where every second could mean life or death. Through it all, the protagonist remains a figure of calm amidst chaos, a man shaped by the road and hardened by experience. His leadership is both tactical and emotional, guiding the team through impossible odds with a mix of toughness and compassion. The story paints him as a complex hero, flawed yet fiercely loyal, battling demons from his past while fighting for a chance at redemption. The first part of the story closes on a note of fragile hope and looming danger. The team has made significant progress, the stolen cars stacking up like trophies in their war against time. But the cost is clear. Their world is unraveling, and the forces arrayed against them are closing in with relentless precision. The stage is set for a final, breathtaking push, a desperate gambit where everything is on the line. The city streets, alive with the roar of engines and the flash of headlights, pulse with a tension that mirrors the hearts of those racing through them. The night stretches on, long and unforgiving, as the story speeds toward its inevitable collision of fate, loyalty, and survival. And in the midst of it all, a man races not just for stolen cars, but for the chance to save the family he loves, and to reclaim a part of himself lost to the past. As the night deepens, the city's pulse grows more urgent, a living beast that demands every ounce of speed, skill, and heart from those who dare to challenge it. The journey, once a race against time, now shifts into a brutal test of endurance and trust, where every moment carries the weight of consequences far beyond stolen machines. The story moves with relentless momentum, carving a path through escalating dangers and unspoken truths, weaving a complex tapestry of desperation, loyalty, and survival. The protagonist finds himself at the crossroads of battle and betrayal, the shadows closing in on every side. The betrayal that surfaced earlier is no longer a whisper but a wound bleeding into the very fabric of the team. Friends once trusted as brothers reveal fractures born from fear, greed, and survival instinct. Suspicion hangs heavy in the air like smoke, poisoning alliances and forcing the crew to re-evaluate everything they thought they knew. The line between friend and foe blurs, and the man who led them must navigate this treacherous terrain with more than just skill. He needs sharp instincts and unyielding resolve. The pace quickens as the number of stolen cars dwindles, but the pressure mounts. The police tighten their net with ruthless efficiency. Every escape route seems compromised. Every shadow could hide an enemy. The protagonist is pushed to the brink, relying on his deep knowledge of the streets and his unmatched driving prowess to stay ahead. Scenes of high-speed chases ripple through the cityscape, engines roaring like beasts in full cry. Scenes of high-speed chases ripple through the cityscape, engines roaring like beasts in full cry, tires screaming in a symphony of controlled chaos. These sequences are more than spectacle. They're battles fought with nerves and wits, where one misstep can mean the end of everything. In the midst of this chaos, the personal stakes become painfully clear. The brothers' situation deteriorates. The threats escalate beyond intimidation to brutal violence. Time is no longer just a ticking clock, it is a countdown to catastrophe. The protagonist's desperation becomes almost palpable, a raw undercurrent beneath the roar of engines and screeching tires. His every move is tinged with a fierce urgency to protect, to save what remains of his family before it's too late. Amidst the chaos, a series of revelations unfold, shaking the very foundation of the mission. Secrets buried beneath layers of loyalty and deception come to light, twisting the narrative and forcing the protagonist to confront harsh truths. Some allies prove to be more dangerous than enemies, their motives murky and self-serving. The story pulls back the curtain on hidden agendas and double crosses, each twist adding new depth to the story and raising the stakes ever higher. One of the most harrowing moments arrives when the protagonist must make a gut-wrenching choice between the mission and his family. The weight of responsibility crashes down in a tidal wave of emotion and adrenaline. There's no room for error, no second chances. The tension is thick, suffocating, as the line between victory and loss shrinks to a razor's edge. The choices made here will ripple forward, shaping not just the outcome of the heist, but the fate of every character caught in the storm. In this crucible, the protagonist's leadership shines brightest. His calm under fire, his fierce protectiveness, and his unwavering determination paint a portrait of a man who is both hero and flawed human being. His struggle is not just against external forces, but against his own doubts and fears. This internal battle lends the story a powerful emotional resonance, grounding the high-octane action in a deeply personal narrative. The climactic sequence is a masterclass in tension and pacing. The final cars must be stolen under the heaviest surveillance, the police force closing in like predators circling their prey. The city streets become a labyrinth of danger, a high-stakes chess game played at breakneck speed. Every second stretches into eternity, every maneuver a gamble with fate. The roar of engines blends with the pounding of hearts as the protagonist races against the impossible, the weight of the entire mission, and his brother's life, pressing down. Just when victory seems within reach, the story delivers its most shocking twist. A betrayal of devastating scale threatens to shatter everything. Trust is shattered, plans crumble, and the protagonist is forced into a desperate fight not just for the cars, but for survival itself. This moment, raw and chaotic, strips away any illusions of control, leaving only raw willpower and grit. It is a turning point that redefines the narrative, shifting the focus from mere heist to a desperate battle for redemption. The tension escalates as the protagonist confronts those who would see him fail. Old enemies, corrupted allies, and the relentless law enforcement determined to bring him down. The city, once a playground, becomes a battleground of loyalties and betrayals. The narrative threads converge in a series of pulse-pounding sequences that test every skill and bond forged through the story. The roar of engines and the screech of tires become the soundtrack of a life on the edge. In the midst of this chaos, moments of quiet clarity emerge. The protagonist's relationship with his brother deepens, the raw emotion cutting through the adrenaline-fueled madness. Their bond, battered but unbroken, becomes a beacon of hope and humanity. It's a reminder that beneath the flashing lights and roaring engines lies a story of family, sacrifice, and the desperate fight to protect those we love. As the story races toward its conclusion, the tension reaches a fever pitch. The final heist unfolds with breathtaking precision and nerve. Every move is a gamble, every second a battle. The city itself seems to hold its breath as the protagonist pushes beyond every limit, racing against time and fate. The narrative pulses with energy, the climax a crescendo of speed, danger, and the resolution is both satisfying and bittersweet. The mission, fraught with loss and sacrifice, reaches its end. The protagonist's journey comes full circle, marked by the scars of battle but tempered by the strength of family. The city's neon glow fades into dawn, the roar of engines replaced by the quiet hum of a new beginning. There is victory, yes, but also the heavy cost of the choices made. In the final moments, the story lingers on the aftermath, the fragile peace earned through chaos, the bonds reforged, and the uncertain future that lies ahead. The protagonist stands not just as a thief or a driver, but as a man who has faced his past, fought for his family, and survived the impossible. The night has tested him in every way, and though the road ahead remains uncertain, there is a hard-won sense of hope. This journey through danger and loyalty, speed and sacrifice, leaves an indelible mark. It's a story that pulses with life, with the raw energy of the streets and the beating heart of family. The echoes of engines and footsteps fade, but the story's impact lingers, a testament to the power of love, risk, and redemption in a world where every second counts. In the midst of roaring engines and flashing city lights, the true heartbeat of this story pulses strongest through its characters. Flawed, complex, and fiercely human. At the center stands a man shaped by speed and sacrifice, a figure who embodies the paradox of control and chaos. He is not just a driver or a thief, but a man caught between worlds, the fast lane he once ruled and the quiet life he longs for, bound by a love that both anchors and drives him forward. This protagonist is a study in contradictions. His exterior is calm and controlled, almost detached, yet beneath that surface simmers a storm of loyalty, guilt, and determination. The years spent mastering the art of stealing cars have forged him into a master strategist, a man who reads the city like a book and anticipates every twist and turn. But it is the emotional weight he carries, the desperate need to save his brother and redeem his past, that truly defines him. His hands steady on the wheel are also hands desperate to grasp a life slipping away. There is a quiet intensity to his presence, a sense of someone who has seen the edges of danger and walked away, only to be pulled back into the fray. He moves through the story not just as a leader, but as a protector, a role complicated by the very risks he takes. His relationship with his brother adds layers of vulnerability to his otherwise steely resolve. It is this bond that humanizes him, revealing a man who, despite his skill and control, is vulnerable to the chaos that family can bring. His younger brother is a spark, fiery, reckless, and brimming with a restless energy that contrasts sharply with his older siblings' measured calm. He is the catalyst for the entire story, the reason the wheels start turning again. His mistakes and impulsiveness are the roots of danger, yet beneath that lies a vulnerability that invites empathy. He embodies the recklessness of youth, the hunger for freedom and escape, but also the tragic flaws that come with it. His need for help, though often masked by bravado, becomes the emotional core that drives the protagonist's relentless mission. The tension between the brothers is palpable. Moments of frustration, anger, and fear interwoven with deep affection. Their interactions crackle with unspoken fears and fierce loyalty, revealing the messy, complicated nature of family ties. The younger brother's journey is one of growth amid chaos, a painful lesson in consequence and survival. His reckless spirit brings both danger and hope, making him a character who is as much a risk to himself as he is to those around him. Surrounding these two is a crew forged in the crucible of shared risk and camaraderie. Each member is more than just a cog in the machine. They are personalities shaped by their own histories and motivations, contributing texture and depth to the story. The mechanic, for example, is a quiet genius, his love for cars almost spiritual. His knowledge turns machines into extensions of the crew's will, and his calm presence anchors the group. He is a man who speaks through his craft, the silent heartbeat beneath the chaos. The wheelman is another vital piece, a figure of nerves and precision, whose reflexes and instincts turn danger into triumph. His cool under pressure contrasts with the brothers' volatility, offering a steady hand amid the storm. There is a layer of quiet confidence about him, born from countless nights navigating city streets and evading capture. His relationship with the protagonist is one of mutual respect and trust, a partnership forged in adrenaline and necessity. The tech specialist adds a modern edge, a master of gadgets and surveillance, turning digital obstacles into opportunities. His role is crucial, weaving technology into the art of theft, and his character represents the changing face of the game. There's an energy and sharpness to him, a reminder that this world is as much about brains as it is about speed and brawn. He brings a sense of ingenuity and adaptability, a necessary foil to the old-school instincts of the others. Together, this crew forms a fragile but fierce family, bound not by blood but by loyalty and shared survival. Their interactions are laced with humor, tension, and unspoken history, each bringing their own light and shadow to the story. The dynamics within the group reveal cracks as well. Fear, jealousy, and doubt lurk beneath the surface, threatening to unravel the fragile trust that holds them together. These tensions add a layer of realism and complexity, grounding the high-stakes action in human emotion. The antagonist forces, too, are more than faceless enemies. The law enforcement agents hunting the crew are relentless, driven by a mix of duty and obsession. The lead officer embodies this duality, a figure whose rigid determination borders on personal vendetta. His pursuit is not just professional, it's deeply personal, making him a formidable opponent who mirrors the protagonist's own intensity and resolve. This cat-and-mouse dynamic adds a thrilling psychological layer to the narrative, heightening the stakes beyond mere physical danger. Within this tension lies a subtle commentary on order and chaos. The police represent the law and structure, while the crew embodies rebellion and freedom, albeit through illicit means. The clash between these forces is not just external but philosophical, a battle of ideals played out at breakneck speed. The antagonist's pursuit is unyielding, and his methods ruthless, pushing the protagonist and his crew into ever more dangerous territory. Beneath the surface of the heist and chase, the story also explores the burdens of leadership. The protagonist is constantly balancing the weight of responsibility toward his family, his crew, and himself. His decisions ripple through the narrative, each choice carrying consequences that test his morality and resolve. The role of leader is portrayed as isolating, filled with moments of doubt and sacrifice. He is a man who must hide vulnerability behind a mask of control, yet the cracks in that mask reveal a deeply human core. This tension between strength and vulnerability is a recurring theme throughout the characters. The protagonist's journey is one of redemption, not just from external enemies but from his own past mistakes. His skill behind the wheel is matched by a quiet yearning for forgiveness and peace, a desire complicated by the very risks he takes. His story is a meditation on the price of freedom and the sacrifices made in its name. The younger brother's arc complements this theme. His recklessness and mistakes are part of a search for identity and belonging. His character is raw and unpolished, a symbol of youthful defiance and the harsh lessons that come with it. Through him, the story examines the fragility of family ties when tested by danger and desperation. His growth is painful and uneven, but it is also a testament to resilience and hope. The secondary characters enrich this tapestry with their own struggles and loyalties. The mechanic's quiet dedication and the wheelman's cool precision provide counterpoints to the brothers' volatile relationship. Each character's backstory, though glimpsed in fragments, hints at lives shaped by risk, loss, and survival. These glimpses add depth and texture, making the crew feel like a living, breathing unit rather than mere sidekicks. Even the betrayals and fractures within the group are handled with nuance. They are not simple acts of villainy but complicated choices born from fear, desperation, and self-preservation. These moments of fracture deepen the narrative, forcing the protagonist to confront not just external enemies but the shadows within his own circle. The betrayals become crucibles of trust and resilience, shaping the final arc of the story. The city itself, while not a character in the traditional sense, mirrors the personalities and tensions of the people who inhabit it. Its neon glow and labyrinthine streets reflect the complexity and danger of the world they navigate. The urban landscape is both a playground and a prison, offering freedom and entrapment in equal measure. The characters' intimate knowledge of this terrain is a testament to their skill and history, grounding their high-speed pursuits in a vivid, tangible reality. In the end, the characters' true power lies in their humanity, their fears, hopes, flaws, and fierce loyalties. They are not heroes in the conventional sense, but survivors shaped by the harsh realities of their world. The urban landscape is both a playground and a prison, offering freedom and entrapment in equal measure. The characters' intimate knowledge of this terrain is a testament to their skill and history, grounding their high-speed pursuits in a vivid, tangible reality. In the end, the characters' true power lies in their humanity, their fears, hopes, flaws, and fierce loyalties. They are not heroes in the conventional sense, but survivors shaped by the harsh realities of their world. Their struggles and triumphs resonate because they are rooted in real emotions and relationships. The story's pulse beats strongest through these lives, making the high-octane action feel lived in and deeply felt. The protagonist emerges as a figure both mythic and painfully real, a man chasing redemption on the edge of chaos, driven by love and haunted by loss. His brother's wild spirit, the crew's unyielding loyalty, and the relentless pursuit by enemies all weave together into a rich, emotional tapestry. Together, they create a world where speed and danger collide with family and sacrifice, leaving an indelible mark on everyone who rides along. There's a certain magic behind the roaring engines and sleek car chases, a hidden world where the artistry of filmmaking collides with raw, unfiltered chaos. The story on screen captivates with its speed and tension, but the making of this film is a tale just as thrilling, filled with surprising twists, unexpected challenges, and moments that teetered on the edge of disaster. Behind the glamour of the high-octane sequences lies a series of strange, fascinating facts that reveal how this adrenaline-fueled movie came to life in ways both dazzling and downright wild. One of the most striking realities is just how real the car chases truly were. Unlike many films that rely heavily on CGI or controlled studio environments, this movie leaned heavily on actual driving stunts performed by experts on real streets. The production team scoured cities to find locations that could accommodate these breathtaking sequences, often closing down entire stretches of highways and urban roads to capture the perfect shot. What makes this remarkable is the sheer scale of these operations, involving hundreds of cars and dozens of stunt drivers, all moving in sync to create a ballet of speed and precision. It was a logistical marvel, but also a powder keg of potential mishaps. The lead actor, already known for his cool charisma, took his role far beyond mere acting. He underwent intensive training to master the art of driving some of the most challenging cars featured in the movie. This wasn't just for authenticity, it was a necessity. Many scenes required him to execute complex maneuvers, from tight U-turns to heart-stopping high-speed escapes, all without the safety net of CGI. This commitment added layers of intensity to the performance and brought a visceral realism to the film. In fact, his driving skills became so impressive that many assumed professional stunt drivers handled every twist and turn, which was far from the truth. But the most extraordinary fact about the production lies in the sheer number of vehicles involved. The film famously features over 200 cars, many of them rare, exotic models that had to be sourced, modified, and sometimes even destroyed for the sake of a single shot. The logistics of managing such a fleet were staggering. Cars were shipped from across the country and even overseas, brought in by a dedicated team that specialized in sourcing vehicles suited for the high-speed demands of the movie. Each car had to be carefully prepped, not just for performance, but for safety, because the high-risk stunts required precision engineering and expert maintenance. The chaos of coordinating these vehicles sometimes spilled over into the production itself. There are stories of entire car convoys inadvertently causing traffic nightmares, forcing police and city officials to scramble in response. One memorable incident involved a scene where dozens of cars had to race through a major urban artery, but a miscommunication led to real commuters being caught in the middle, turning the carefully choreographed scene into a spontaneous traffic jam that made headlines. The filmmakers later joked that the city itself became an unintentional co-star. Behind the scenes, the stunt teams were pushing the envelope in ways that bordered on the reckless. The head stunt coordinator, known for his fearless approach, insisted on performing many of the most dangerous maneuvers himself, leading to several near misses and some truly heart-stopping moments. In one famous instance, a jump over a moving train was executed with only inches to spare, the car barely clearing the gap before landing in a cloud of dust and gravel. This kind of daring approach gave the film its edge, but also made the set a place where every day felt like walking a tightrope. Adding to the tension was the reality of working under tight schedules and budgets. Despite the film's polished look, the production was often stretched thin, leading to long, grueling hours for the cast and crew. The actors, many of whom were involved in the physically demanding scenes, endured exhaustion and occasional injuries. One stunt gone wrong resulted in a minor crash that sent the lead actor to the hospital with a bruised rib, but true to his dedication, he returned to the set the next day, determined to finish the scene. This kind of perseverance was emblematic of the entire crew's attitude, pushing through pain and exhaustion to deliver a film that felt authentic and electrifying. The film's director brought a unique vision that blended raw action with a sleek, stylistic sensibility. His background in music videos and commercials gave him a keen eye for pacing and visual flair, which translated into the movie's signature look, a kinetic energy that never lets up. He was also deeply involved in the casting of the ensemble, insisting on finding actors who could bring not just star power, but a genuine sense of camaraderie and authenticity. This attention to detail helped build the believable team dynamic that anchors the film, making the high-stakes heist feel grounded in real relationships. A particularly unusual fact about the movie's making involves a scene with a specially modified car known for its legendary role in the film. This car, affectionately dubbed Eleanor, became an icon in its own right. What's fascinating is that multiple versions of this car were built, each tailored for specific stunts or shots. Some were lightweight and stripped down for speed, while others were reinforced with hidden safety features for dangerous jumps and crashes. One of these Eleanors was actually found abandoned years later in a remote warehouse, sparking a minor treasure hunt among fans and car enthusiasts. Its rediscovery added to the mythos surrounding the film, blending fiction with real-world intrigue. The casting process itself held its own share of surprises. The film brought together actors from diverse backgrounds, blending seasoned veterans with newcomers. Several of the younger cast members were relatively unknown at the time but delivered performances that added freshness and energy. Behind the scenes, there were tales of late-night rehearsals and improvised scenes that ended up becoming fan favorites. The chemistry among the cast wasn't just scripted, it was built in sweat and shared adrenaline, contributing to the film's authentic feel. One lesser-known trivia nugget revolves around the film's soundtrack, a pulse-pounding mix of rock, electronic, and hip-hop tracks that underscore every chase and tense moment. The soundtrack was carefully curated to match the film's energy, with many artists recording exclusive tracks just for the movie. The music became so synonymous with the film that it inspired a wave of imitators in later action movies and video games. The director reportedly worked closely with the music producers, treating the soundtrack as another character, an invisible force driving the story forward. The production also embraced cutting-edge technology of the time, incorporating early uses of CGI and digital editing to enhance certain sequences without overshadowing the practical stunts. For instance, some shots used digital compositing to extend cityscapes or to simulate dangerous crashes that couldn't be performed safely. This blend of practical effects and technology was relatively new in the early 2000s, marking the film as a pioneer in balancing authenticity with cinematic spectacle. The subtlety of these effects ensured that the audience remained immersed, never breaking the spell of real-world danger and speed. Behind the carefully choreographed scenes, there were moments of genuine improvisation that found their way into the final cut. Several actors and stunt performers improvised moves and dialogue during takes, adding spontaneity and a raw edge to the interactions. One famous story recounts a high-speed chase where a stunt driver, reacting to unexpected road conditions, veered off-script in a way that perfectly captured the chaos and risk of the moment. The director decided to keep the shot, recognizing that this unplanned burst of reality elevated the entire sequence. The film's production also had to navigate the delicate balance between realism and safety. While the stunts were breathtaking, the crew took every precaution possible to protect everyone involved. Crash barriers were hidden from the camera's eye, and medical personnel were on standby during every shoot. Despite these measures, the risk was ever present, and several members of the crew carried scars and bruises as badges of honor. These realities grounded the production in a gritty truth that echoes through the final film. Another fascinating aspect lies in the cultural impact the movie had after its release. It wasn't just a blockbuster, it became a touchstone for car culture enthusiasts around the world. The film sparked a renewed interest in classic muscle cars, street racing, and the underground world of automotive subculture. Car clubs and fan groups sprang up, inspired by the film's blend of speed, style, and brotherhood. The impact rippled beyond the screen, influencing fashion, music, and even the way driving scenes were approached in future cinema. The legacy of the film's vehicles also extended into the realm of collectibles. Models of the iconic cars became highly sought after, and the Eleanor replicas that fans built or purchased became symbols of dedication and fandom. Some enthusiasts went so far as to restore original vehicles used during filming, turning them into rolling museums of cinematic history. This cross-pollination between film and real-world car culture added a unique dimension to the movie's story, one that continues to evolve decades after its release. The movie also inspired a number of unusual promotional stunts and tie-ins. One memorable campaign involved a nationwide car tour, where replicas of the film's vehicles were displayed at major cities, accompanied by live demonstrations of stunt driving and automotive exhibitions. These events drew massive crowds and helped build a grassroots fan base that extended far beyond traditional moviegoers. The marketing strategy was as bold as the film itself, turning the cars from mere props into icons of excitement and rebellion. Even in the realm of costumes and styling, the film broke ground. The wardrobe choices weren't just about aesthetics. They were carefully designed to reflect the characters' personalities and the gritty world they inhabited. Leather jackets, worn sneakers, and practical gear were selected to mirror the authenticity of the street racing and heist subcultures. This attention to detail added depth to the characters, making them feel lived in and real rather than stylized caricatures. One of the stranger behind-the-scenes stories involves the unexpected role of weather in shaping some scenes. Filming on location meant dealing with unpredictable elements, and several outdoor sequences were impacted by sudden rainstorms or shifting light. Rather than postpone, the crew often embraced these challenges, using weather to add texture and mood. A rain-soaked chase through slick streets, for instance, became one of the film's most visually striking moments, heightening tension and danger in ways no script could have predicted. In many ways, the making of this film was a balancing act between control and chaos, a theme that mirrors the story itself. The cast and crew had to harness the raw energy of fast cars and daring stunts while keeping safety and storytelling front and center. The result is a cinematic experience that pulses with life, grounded in authenticity but soaring with imagination. What makes these strange facts so compelling is how they reveal the human side of an epic action spectacle. Behind every high-speed chase, every crash, and every moment of cinematic brilliance, there were people. Drivers, actors, mechanics, coordinators, working with grit, creativity, and sometimes sheer luck. Their stories, often untold, add layers of richness to the film, turning it from mere entertainment into a living, breathing achievement. The legacy of the production continues to inspire filmmakers and fans alike, a testament to the power of ambition, teamwork, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. In the end, this movie is not just about stolen cars or breathless escapes. It's a story of people who dared to push boundaries, both on screen and off, crafting a timeless tribute to speed, risk, and the indomitable human spirit. Beneath the gleaming surface of roaring engines and high-speed chases lies a complex narrative tapestry woven with tension, loyalty, and the ever-present chase for redemption. The significant events in this story ripple far beyond their immediate adrenaline-fueled moments, inviting a deeper reflection on the characters' struggles and the world they inhabit. Viewed through a critical lens, these events are not just plot points. They become emotional and thematic cornerstones that shape the film's enduring impact and the way audiences connect to its pulse. The opening scenes, for instance, set the tone in a way that feels both intimate and expansive. The protagonist's return to a life he once left behind is more than a narrative device. It is a quiet meditation on the inescapable pull of one's past. This moment resonates with the universal theme of confronting history, forcing us to consider how the choices we think we've escaped continue to shape our identities. The critical perspective here is rich with questions about agency and fate. How much control do we really have when the past beckons so insistently? The film deftly uses this tension to anchor the story emotionally, allowing the high-octane thrills to carry weight beyond their spectacle. Another pivotal event, the forced recruitment of the protagonist back into the criminal world for the sake of his brother, bristles with moral complexity. This scenario unpacks the idea of sacrifice in its rawest form, challenging traditional notions of heroism. Rather than a clear-cut good versus evil tale, the story unfolds as a nuanced exploration of desperation and loyalty. From a critical standpoint, this blurring of ethical lines enriches the narrative, making the characters' actions feel grounded in real human dilemmas. The film invites the audience to wrestle with uncomfortable truths. When pushed to the edge, how far would you go for family? What cost is too high? As the heist unfolds, each stolen car represents more than just an item on a list. They become symbols of freedom, power, and risk. The meticulous planning and execution of these thefts is a dance of precision and chaos, echoing larger themes of control and chaos that permeate the story. Critically, these sequences illustrate the delicate balance between order and anarchy, reflecting the protagonist's own internal struggle. The cars are extensions of identity and agency, and their theft is both a reclaiming and a loss. This duality is central to the film's emotional resonance, creating a rhythm where tension is continually built and released, keeping the audience invested on multiple levels. The dynamics within the crew further deepen the narrative's complexity. Moments of camaraderie and conflict are interwoven with subtle commentary on trust and betrayal. From a critical perspective, the fractured relationships mirror broader social anxieties about loyalty and survival in high-pressure environments. The film doesn't shy away from portraying the cracks that fear and self-interest create in even the strongest bonds. These interpersonal tensions humanize the action, transforming the characters from archetypal criminals into multidimensional beings wrestling with doubt, hope, and desperation. It is this depth that elevates the film from mere spectacle to a poignant study of human connection under duress. One of the most striking events, the sudden betrayal that threatens to unravel the entire mission, functions as a narrative pivot with profound thematic implications. This moment exposes the fragility of trust and the consequences of broken bonds, underscoring the story's exploration of loyalty's limits. From a critical standpoint, the betrayal is a mirror reflecting the characters' vulnerabilities and the high stakes of their world. It forces the protagonist, and the audience, to confront the uncomfortable reality that survival often comes at the expense of relationships. This event heightens the emotional intensity and underscores the film's darker undertones, challenging viewers to consider the true cost of loyalty. The relentless pursuit by law enforcement adds a layered antagonist force that is as much ideological as it is physical. The police are not mere obstacles. They embody the tension between order and freedom, law and rebellion. Critically, this cat-and-mouse game elevates the narrative to a discourse on power and control, where each chase and close call symbolizes a broader struggle between authority and autonomy. The officer's obsession with capturing the crew adds psychological depth, transforming the pursuit into a battle of wills that resonates beyond the screen. This duality enriches the film's thematic fabric, inviting viewers to question the nature of justice and the price of freedom. Emotional resonance peaks in the fraught relationship between the protagonist and his brother. Their interactions, ranging from heated confrontations to moments of quiet vulnerability, serve as the emotional spine of the film. From a critical viewpoint, This relationship explores themes of redemption, forgiveness, and the enduring ties of family. The younger brother's reckless behavior juxtaposed with the older sibling's calculated control creates a dynamic tension that mirrors the film's broader themes of chaos and order. Their bond embodies the story's core conflict, the struggle to protect loved ones in a world that constantly threatens to pull them apart. This emotional core grounds the film's high-octane action in real human stakes, enhancing its impact. The film's climax, where speed, danger, and betrayal collide, serves as a crucible for the characters' arcs and the narrative's thematic concerns. This sequence is a masterclass in tension and pacing, but critically it also functions as a moment of reckoning. The protagonist's decisions here reflect his growth and the sacrifices he is willing to make, highlighting themes of resilience and redemption. The chaos of the chase is not just physical but symbolic, a metaphor for the turbulent journey towards self-forgiveness and familial salvation. This layered approach to the climax enriches the viewing experience, offering both adrenaline-fueled spectacle and emotional catharsis. The resolution of the story balances triumph with loss, a choice that lends the film its enduring poignancy. Rather than a neat, unambiguous victory, the ending embraces complexity, acknowledging the costs incurred and the uncertain future ahead. From a critical standpoint, this nuanced conclusion challenges the conventions of the genre, opting for emotional truth over simplistic closure. It underscores the film's central themes, that freedom and redemption come with sacrifice, and that the ties that bind us are as fragile as they are vital. This bittersweet tone elevates the film's narrative, inviting reflection long after the credits roll. The film's thematic depth is further enhanced by its atmospheric use of setting and tone. The urban landscape, glowing with neon and shrouded in shadows, becomes a character in its own right, reflecting the story's mood and tensions. Critically, the city's dual nature as both playground and prison mirrors the character's own struggles between freedom and entrapment. The visual style reinforces themes of ambiguity and danger, creating an immersive environment that amplifies the emotional stakes. This interplay between setting and narrative adds layers of meaning, making the film not just a story of car theft but a meditation on modern life's complexities. Symbolism also plays a subtle yet powerful role throughout the film. The cars themselves are laden with meaning, not merely vehicles but representations of identity, escape, and power. The protagonist's skill behind the wheel symbolizes control amid chaos, while the act of stealing these machines speaks to themes of rebellion and reclaiming agency. This layered symbolism enriches the narrative texture, offering viewers multiple ways to engage with the story's emotional and thematic currents. The film's use of recurring motifs, such as speed and motion, reinforces its exploration of time, risk, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. Critically, the film's emotional resonance is heightened by its exploration of sacrifice and consequence. The characters' choices are fraught with moral ambiguity, reflecting real-world complexities rather than black-and-white morality. This nuanced portrayal invites empathy, challenging viewers to see beyond labels of criminal or hero and recognize the humanity in flawed individuals making impossible decisions. The film's willingness to engage with these ethical tensions deepens its impact, transforming a high-stakes heist into a profound meditation on loyalty, family, and survival. The impact and reception of the film are inseparable from these critical perspectives. Audiences responded not only to the thrilling action sequences but also to the story's emotional depth and moral complexity. The film's success lies in its ability to balance spectacle with substance, delivering edge-of-your-seat excitement while provoking reflection on deeper themes. Critics praised its blend of style and substance, noting how the characters' struggles elevate the narrative beyond typical genre fare. This dual appeal helped the film carve out a lasting place in the action genre, influencing subsequent movies and earning a dedicated fan base. Moreover, the film's exploration of brotherhood and sacrifice resonates universally, allowing viewers from diverse backgrounds to connect with its core themes. The emotional authenticity of the protagonist's journey, paired with the kinetic energy of the action, creates a compelling juxtaposition that keeps audiences engaged on multiple levels. This layered storytelling approach contributes to the film's enduring popularity, as it offers something beyond thrills, a story about the cost of loyalty and the search for redemption in a harsh, unforgiving world. The movie also sparked conversations about the portrayal of crime and morality in cinema. Its complex characters and morally ambiguous situations challenge simplistic narratives, encouraging audiences to grapple with uncomfortable questions about justice and survival. This critical engagement adds a layer of intellectual richness to the viewing experience, inviting analysis and debate. The film's willingness to embrace shades of gray rather than clear-cut heroes and villains marks it as a significant work within its genre. Finally, the film's stylistic achievements contribute to its critical stature. The direction, cinematography, and editing work in harmony to create a kinetic visual language that captures the tension and energy of the story. The pacing is relentless but measured, allowing moments of reflection amid the chaos. This careful craftsmanship enhances the film's emotional impact, ensuring that the action sequences serve the narrative rather than overwhelm it. The resulting experience is immersive and emotionally resonant, a testament to the power of thoughtful filmmaking. In sum, the significant events of the story are more than thrilling set pieces. They are the emotional and thematic pillars that give the film its depth and resonance. Through a critical lens, these moments reveal a rich exploration of loyalty, sacrifice, and the pursuit of redemption set against a backdrop of speed and danger. This interplay of action and emotion is what gives the film its lasting impact, creating a cinematic experience that excites the senses and touches the heart. The making of this film is a story all its own, one that unfolds behind the roaring engines and heart-pounding chases, revealing a world where passion, risk, and sheer determination converge to create something unforgettable. The filmmaking process was a symphony of chaos and precision, where every detail mattered and the line between art and adrenaline blurred. From the earliest days of pre-production to the final cut, the journey of bringing this story to life was marked by moments of ingenuity, grit, and unexpected surprises, each adding its own layer of texture to the finished masterpiece. The genesis of the project began with a simple yet ambitious idea: to craft a high-octane, authentic heist film centered around the underground world of car theft and street racing. The filmmakers were determined to avoid the slick, overly stylized approach common in many action movies, aiming instead for something raw and visceral. This vision demanded a level of realism that would challenge every department involved. From the outset, the director insisted on practical effects and real locations, rejecting CGI-heavy shortcuts in favor of capturing genuine speed and danger. This choice set the tone for a production that was as demanding as it was exhilarating. Casting was a crucial early step, with the filmmakers seeking actors who could not only deliver strong performances but also bring authenticity to their roles. The lead, already known for his charisma and cool demeanor, embraced the physicality of the part with enthusiasm. He spent weeks training with professional stunt drivers to master the art of high-performance driving, learning to handle everything from muscle cars to sleek imports with confidence. This dedication paid off, allowing him to perform many of his own stunts and bringing a palpable sense of realism to the scenes. His commitment also fostered a close bond with the stunt team, creating a collaborative atmosphere on set. Behind the camera, the director's background in music videos and commercials informed his dynamic visual style. He approached the film with a keen eye for rhythm and pacing, treating each chase and heist like a carefully choreographed dance. His focus on movement and energy shaped the way scenes were framed and edited, infusing the movie with a kinetic vitality that pulses throughout. This approach also demanded innovative camera work, including mounting rigs on cars and using high-speed cameras to capture the nuances of motion and speed. The crew often found themselves pushing technical boundaries to achieve the desired effect. The logistical challenges of filming on location were immense. The production scouted urban environments that could be transformed into the movie's neon-lit playground, negotiating with city officials to secure permits for road closures and stunts. Coordinating these efforts required delicate diplomacy and careful planning, as the crew had to balance the need for authentic large-scale action with the realities of working in bustling, populated areas. One memorable example involved shutting down a major highway for several hours to film a high-speed chase sequence, a feat that required coordination between the production team, law enforcement, and local residents. The resulting scenes crackle with authenticity, the energy of a real city captured in every frame. Managing the fleet of vehicles was another monumental task. Over 200 cars were involved in the production, ranging from rare muscle cars to modern imports. Each vehicle had to be sourced, modified, and maintained with precision. The film's famed Eleanor Mustang, which became a cultural icon, was actually one of several replicas built for different purposes, some designed for speed, others reinforced for stunts. The car experts on set worked tirelessly to ensure that each vehicle not only looked the part but could withstand the rigors of intense driving and multiple takes. Their efforts extended beyond mechanics to aesthetics, with custom paint jobs and modifications that added character and style. The stunt coordination was perhaps the most thrilling and dangerous aspect of the production. The head stunt coordinator was known for his fearless approach, often performing some of the most complex maneuvers himself. His philosophy was rooted in precision and trust. Every driver, actor, and crew member had to be in sync to pull off the sequences safely. Despite rigorous planning, the nature of the stunts meant that near misses and accidents were inevitable. Stories circulated of close calls where cars barely missed collisions or landed jumps by mere inches. One particularly harrowing incident involved a jump over a moving train, executed with such exact timing that the margin for error was razor-thin. These moments added a raw, palpable tension to the filming process, making every successful take feel like a small victory. The camaraderie among the cast and crew was a vital part of the production's spirit. Long hours and high pressure forged strong bonds, with many describing the set as a family united by a shared passion. Behind the scenes, there were moments of levity and creativity that helped balance the intensity. Improvised jokes, late-night rehearsals, and spontaneous celebrations punctuated the grueling schedule. The actors often practiced their driving and stunts together, turning training into a form of team building. This chemistry translated on screen, lending authenticity to the relationships between characters and deepening the film's emotional impact. Music played a central role not only in the film's atmosphere but also in its production. The soundtrack was carefully curated to match the kinetic energy and mood, blending rock, electronic, and hip-hop influences. The director collaborated closely with musicians and producers, sometimes commissioning original tracks to ensure the music complemented the action perfectly. Recording sessions and music edits were integrated into the editing process, creating a seamless fusion of sound and image. This thoughtful approach to music elevated the film, making the soundtrack an essential part of its identity and helping to build a lasting cultural impact. The post-production phase brought its own challenges and triumphs. Editing the fast-paced sequences required a delicate balance between maintaining clarity and preserving momentum. The editors worked closely with the director to craft a rhythm that mirrored the film's themes of urgency and risk. Special effects were used sparingly, enhancing certain moments without undermining the film's commitment to realism. Color grading emphasized the urban nighttime setting, bathing scenes in neon hues that added a stylized yet gritty aesthetic. Sound design was another key element, with the roar of engines, screech of tires, and subtle mechanical noises woven into a rich sonic tapestry. Among the many interesting anecdotes from production is the story of a surprise improvisation during a pivotal chase scene. A stunt driver, reacting to unexpected road conditions, executed an unplanned maneuver that added a burst of raw energy to the sequence. Rather than reshoot, the director embraced the spontaneous moment, recognizing its authenticity and cinematic power. This decision exemplifies the collaborative spirit of the production, where flexibility and creativity often led to unexpected breakthroughs. The production also faced moments of tension and challenge, particularly regarding safety concerns. Despite extensive precautions, the nature of the stunts meant that accidents were a real risk. The lead actor sustained a bruised rib during a stunt gone awry but insisted on returning to set the following day. This dedication exemplified the team's commitment to pushing boundaries while safeguarding their collective well-being. Medical staff were on constant standby, and safety protocols were continually reviewed and updated to minimize risks. An unusual behind-the-scenes fact involves the discovery and preservation of the iconic Eleanor Mustang. Years after filming, One of the replicas was found abandoned in a warehouse, sparking excitement among fans and collectors. Its rediscovery led to restoration efforts and celebrations of the car's cultural significance. This story underscores the film's lasting legacy, not just as a cinematic work, but as a symbol embraced by car enthusiasts and pop culture alike. Marketing and promotion for the film embraced its adrenaline-fueled spirit. Nationwide tours showcased replicas of the film's cars, accompanied by live stunt demonstrations and interactive exhibits. These events drew large crowds and helped cultivate a passionate fan base. The marketing team's strategy was innovative, transforming the vehicles from mere props into icons of excitement and rebellion. This approach amplified the film's reach and solidified its place in popular culture. Costume design was another element that contributed to the film's authenticity. Wardrobe choices reflected the characters' personalities and the gritty world they inhabited. Leather jackets, worn sneakers, and practical attire were carefully selected to resonate with the street racing and heist subcultures. This attention to detail enhanced character development, grounding the story in a believable and immersive environment. Weather, often an unpredictable factor, played an unexpected role in shaping some scenes. Rather than postponing shoots during sudden rainstorms, the crew embraced the conditions, using wet streets and reflections to add visual interest and heighten tension. A rain-soaked chase sequence became one of the film's most memorable moments, blending danger and beauty in a way that elevated the cinematic experience. In many respects, the making of this film was a balancing act between control and chaos, mirroring the story's themes. The filmmakers harnessed the raw energy of speed and risk while maintaining rigorous standards to deliver a cohesive narrative. This tension between discipline and spontaneity is palpable throughout the production story, creating a behind-the-scenes journey as compelling as the on-screen drama. The film's enduring appeal is rooted not only in its thrilling action but also in the human stories behind its creation. The cast and crew's dedication, creativity, and resilience shine through, adding depth to the film's legacy. These production insights and fun facts reveal a world where passion met peril, and where every frame was earned through sweat, skill, and a relentless drive to capture the spirit of speed and rebellion. Ultimately, the story of making this film is one of collaboration, innovation, and daring, a testament to what can be achieved when visionaries come together to push boundaries and tell a story that lives and breathes beyond the screen. The result is a cinematic experience that continues to resonate, fueled by the fascinating tales woven into its very fabric. The film unfolds like a pulse pounding through the veins of a city that never sleeps, a sprawling urban labyrinth where light and shadow dance beneath the glow of neon signs, and the roar of engines breaks the silence of the night. The setting is more than a backdrop. It's a living, breathing entity that shapes the story's every turn and breathes life into its cinematic heartbeat. From glistening highways to gritty industrial alleys, the locations chosen weave a rich tapestry that blurs the line between sanctuary and trap, freedom and confinement, hope and danger. The city itself is a character, complex and multifaceted, embodying the restless energy that drives the narrative. It's a place of contrasts, where gleaming skyscrapers cast long shadows over crumbling warehouses and sleek sports cars flash past run-down neighborhoods. This juxtaposition reflects the story's core tensions, the clash between the polished veneer of power and the raw, chaotic underworld lurking just beneath. The urban landscape pulses with possibility and peril, inviting the characters, and the audience, into a world where every street corner holds promise and threat in equal measure. Nighttime dominates the film's palette, draping the city in darkness punctuated by sharp, vibrant bursts of light. Neon signs flicker and glow, bathing streets and faces in hues of electric blue, fiery red, and acid green. This luminous palette creates an atmosphere charged with tension and allure, evoking a sense of danger wrapped in seduction. The night becomes a canvas for the characters' high-speed ballet, a stage where shadows conceal secrets and headlights cut through the gloom like knives. It's a world alive with motion, where the city's heartbeat syncs with the racing engines and pounding adrenaline. The choice of locations is deliberate and precise, each setting carefully selected to enhance the narrative's emotional and thematic currents. The sprawling highways, serpentine and unforgiving, symbolize freedom's elusive nature, a vast expanse offering escape but demanding skill and courage. These stretches of road become arenas where speed and control are tested, and where the characters confront both physical and psychological limits. The highways are not just routes but metaphors for the journey itself, twisting, dangerous, and unyielding. Contrasting the highways are the claustrophobic back alleys and industrial zones, places where shadows thicken and danger lurks in every corner. These gritty, often abandoned spaces ground the story in a tangible reality, reminding viewers of the harshness beneath the city's glossy exterior. The narrow passages and cramped garages become sanctuaries for the characters but also cages, echoing themes of entrapment and the constant pressure bearing down on their lives. The setting's physical constraints mirror the emotional and moral dilemmas they face, enhancing the story's tension. The film's cinematography is a masterful blend of style and substance, using light, color, and composition to amplify mood and tone. The camera work pulses with the story's rhythm, sometimes sleek and fluid, capturing the graceful arcs of cars weaving through traffic, other times sharp and jarring, mirroring the sudden shifts in tension and danger. This visual dynamism keeps the audience immersed, making every frame feel alive with urgency and possibility. Close-up shots of gleaming car parts, the curve of a fender, the gleam of a hubcap, become almost sensual, emphasizing the intimate relationship between driver and machine. These details underscore the film's celebration of speed and power, elevating the vehicles to near-mythic status. The cinematographer's eye transforms metal and rubber into symbols of identity and freedom, weaving visual poetry into the high-speed narrative. Lighting plays a crucial role in sculpting the film's atmosphere. The interplay of shadow and light not only creates visual tension but also reflects the characters' internal conflicts. Faces emerge from darkness in moments of vulnerability or decision, while the glow of taillights and street lamps bathes scenes in an otherworldly hue, enhancing the sense of a city caught between reality and dream. This chiaroscuro effect evokes classic film noir sensibilities, grounding the story in a tradition of moral ambiguity and heightened emotion. The use of camera angles is equally impactful. Low-angle shots emphasize the imposing presence of the cars and the cityscape, making the environment feel larger than life and almost intimidating. High-angle shots, conversely, convey vulnerability, showing characters dwarfed by the urban sprawl or the labyrinthine highways. Tracking shots follow the fluid motion of the cars, creating a sense of relentless momentum that mirrors the narrative's urgency. The seamless blend of these techniques crafts a visual language that communicates tension, freedom, and danger without words. Sound design and music intertwine with the visual elements to create a fully immersive sensory experience. The roar of engines is not just background noise but a powerful force that drives scenes forward. Tire screeches, gear shifts, and the hum of engines become a rhythmic soundtrack that intensifies the emotional stakes. The carefully curated musical score, a mix of pulsing beats and atmospheric tracks, elevates the tension and highlights moments of quiet reflection. Together, sound and image weave a rich tapestry that envelopes the audience in the film's world. The color grading reinforces the story's mood, bathing scenes in cool blues and steely grays during moments of tension and suspense, while warmer tones emerge in quieter, more intimate moments. This shifting palette guides the viewer's emotional response, creating contrasts that heighten the narrative's impact. The vibrant neon lights stand out against the muted cityscape, symbolizing both allure and danger, a visual metaphor for the characters' precarious lives. One of the most striking visual motifs is the recurring imagery of motion, blurred lights streaking past, spinning wheels, and shifting reflections. These elements capture the ephemeral nature of speed and the fleeting moments of escape the characters chase. Motion becomes a metaphor for their desire to outrun not just the law but their own pasts and fears. The cinematography's focus on kinetic energy imbues the film with a restless spirit, making the city feel alive and unpredictable. The film also employs moments of stillness to powerful effect. Scenes where the frenetic pace slows down allow for emotional beats to resonate. Here, the camera lingers on faces, capturing subtle expressions that reveal inner turmoil and hope. These quieter moments contrast sharply with the high-octane sequences, creating a rhythm that keeps the audience engaged on both visceral and emotional levels. The interplay between motion and stillness underscores the characters' struggles between control and chaos. Set design and production details add further depth to the film's immersive quality. The garages, safe houses, and underground hangouts are richly textured, filled with tools, posters, and personal touches that reveal the characters' lives beyond the chase. These spaces provide glimpses into their worlds, grounding the narrative in authenticity. The cluttered mechanics workshop, with its oil stains and scattered parts, becomes a sanctuary, a place where the characters exert control amid chaos. Costuming complements the setting and cinematography, reflecting the characters' personalities and social milieu. Practical yet stylish, the clothing choices evoke a sense of streetwise cool, blending form and function. Leather jackets, worn sneakers, and fitted gear not only look the part but also reinforce themes of identity and rebellion. The visual cohesion between costume and setting deepens the film's immersive atmosphere. The interplay of all these cinematic elements, setting, cinematography, lighting, sound, and design, crafts a world that feels both thrilling and tangible. The film's atmosphere is electric, charged with a tension that never lets up, yet grounded in human emotion and authenticity. This fusion creates a narrative experience that is as visually captivating as it is emotionally resonant. Critically, the film's use of setting and cinematic language elevates it beyond a typical action thriller. The cityscape is not just a location but a metaphorical space where characters confront their fears, desires, and destinies. The visual style reinforces the story's exploration of freedom and entrapment, speed and consequence. The immersive atmosphere invites the audience not only to watch but to feel the rush, the danger, and the fragile hope that drives the characters forward. The seamless integration of cinematic techniques also supports the film's pacing and narrative structure. The shifting moods, from tense pursuits to intimate moments, are reflected in the visual and auditory design, creating a holistic storytelling experience. This cohesion between form and content is a hallmark of effective filmmaking, allowing the film to resonate on multiple levels. In conclusion, the film's setting and cinematic elements form the backbone of its immersive power. The urban landscape, bathed in neon and shadow, sets the stage for a story of speed, danger, and human connection. The cinematography's dynamic movement, careful lighting, and evocative color grading craft a mood that is at once thrilling and poignant. Through these elements, the film transcends its genre, offering an atmospheric journey into the heart of a city and the souls racing through its streets. It is this fusion of setting and cinematic artistry that leaves a lasting impression, an indelible portrait of motion, emotion, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. The making of this film was a whirlwind of adrenaline, camaraderie, and unexpected moments, an epic dance of chaos and creativity unfolding behind the scenes as the cast and crew navigated the immense challenges of bringing this high-speed story to life. Far from the polished final cut, the set was a living, breathing ecosystem where every day carried the weight of risk and the spark of invention. Tales from the production reveal a world as dynamic and unpredictable as the story itself, filled with laughter, tension, and the grit of people united by a shared passion. One of the first things that anyone stepping onto the set would notice was the electric energy that crackled between the cast and crew. The actors, stunt drivers, mechanics, and filmmakers were bound not just by their jobs but by a spirit of collaboration and mutual respect. The lead actor, known for his calm on-screen presence, transformed into a vibrant force during rehearsals and breaks. His eagerness to learn the intricacies of driving high-performance cars inspired everyone around him, creating a ripple effect that elevated the entire production. Stories abound of him staying late after shooting to practice stunts, laughing and joking with the stunt team while absorbing every detail. The relationship between the lead and the stunt coordinator was particularly noteworthy. The coordinator, a seasoned veteran with nerves of steel, took the actor under his wing, teaching him not just how to drive but how to feel the car as an extension of his body. This mentorship went beyond technique. It forged a bond built on trust, essential for pulling off dangerous maneuvers safely. Behind the scenes, their playful banter and shared respect added warmth to an otherwise intense environment, reminding everyone that even amid high stakes, camaraderie could thrive. Off-camera, the cast's chemistry mirrored the close-knit team they portrayed on screen. Long hours spent in cars, waiting between takes, and navigating demanding schedules fostered genuine friendships. The younger actors often shared stories and jokes to keep spirits high, while the veterans offered guidance and support. The mechanics and technical crew were equally woven into this fabric, respected not just for their expertise but for their integral role in making every stunt possible. Their workshops became informal gathering spots, where plans were hashed out over coffee and cars tuned with care and precision. Behind the scenes, humor was a crucial balm for the relentless pressure. The high-risk nature of the stunts meant that every successful take was hard-won, and tension often ran high. Yet the cast and crew found ways to break the intensity with laughter, prank wars, light-hearted competitions, and impromptu music sessions. One legendary story tells of a mechanic who rigged a fake engine explosion with harmless smoke effects, causing a moment of chaos before everyone burst into laughter. These moments forged bonds, reminding everyone that beneath the adrenaline and danger was a community united by passion and friendship. Yet the path to cinematic brilliance was far from smooth. The production faced formidable challenges at every turn, many rooted in the sheer scale and ambition of the project. Coordinating the large fleet of vehicles, over 200 cars of varying makes and conditions, was a logistical puzzle of enormous proportions. Each vehicle required careful maintenance, modifications for stunt safety, and precise timing to ensure it appeared exactly when needed. The team worked around the clock, often juggling repairs during shooting breaks, turning garages into makeshift emergency rooms for wounded machines. Filming on location presented its own array of hurdles. Shooting high-speed chases in bustling urban environments meant navigating the complexities of city regulations, traffic control, and unpredictable weather. There were days when the crew had to halt filming due to sudden storms or accidents unrelated to the shoot, testing patience and flexibility. One particularly challenging sequence required closing a major highway, a feat that demanded coordination with multiple agencies and community outreach to minimize disruption. Despite these hurdles, the production's commitment to authenticity meant these scenes carried a raw energy that studio sets could never replicate. The risk inherent in the stunts brought moments of genuine fear and close calls. Though safety was paramount, the nature of the maneuvers meant that near misses were inevitable. During one particularly harrowing sequence involving a high-speed jump over a moving train, the margin for error was razor-thin. The stunt driver executed the jump flawlessly. Loyalty and family form another vital thematic strand. The protagonist's journey is driven by an unyielding commitment to protect his brother, a bond that shapes every decision and sacrifice. This theme complicates the traditional notion of heroism, framing the story as a study of devotion rather than conquest. The film explores how family ties can be both a source of strength and vulnerability, binding characters together while exposing them to profound risks. Moments of tension and tenderness between the brothers highlight the messy, complicated reality of love under pressure. Trust, or the fragile nature of it, is woven tightly into the narrative fabric. The crew's high-stakes mission depends on a delicate balance of faith and suspicion. The sudden betrayals and shifting alliances underscore how trust is a commodity as precious and perilous as the cars they seek to steal. This theme resonates on both personal and broader social levels, reflecting anxieties about loyalty in a world where survival often demands hard choices. The fractures within the team echo the external threats closing in, creating a layered exploration of vulnerability and resilience. Redemption is perhaps the most poignant theme, threading through the protagonist's arc with quiet power. His return to the life he abandoned is not just a plot catalyst but a symbol of confronting past mistakes and seeking a second chance. This quest for redemption adds emotional depth to the high-speed action, framing the story as more than a thrill ride. It becomes a human journey toward forgiveness and self-reclamation. The tension between past and present, mistake and atonement, gives the narrative its emotional heartbeat. Symbolism enriches these themes, offering visual and narrative cues that deepen the story's resonance. The cars themselves are potent symbols, not merely vehicles but extensions of identity, freedom, and power. The iconic Eleanor Mustang, for example, transcends its role as a prop to become a mythic emblem of rebellion and mastery. Its sleek lines and thunderous roar encapsulate the protagonist's blend of skill, control, and defiance. The film uses these symbols to evoke the character's desires and fears without explicit exposition, creating a layered storytelling texture. The cityscape is another powerful symbol, representing both opportunity and entrapment. Its glowing neon lights and sprawling highways evoke a world of possibility, but its shadows and alleys remind viewers of the dangers lurking beneath. This duality reflects the character's own struggles, the tension between chasing dreams and facing harsh realities. The urban environment thus becomes a mirror for the internal conflicts that drive the narrative. Light and shadow play a symbolic role as well, often used to underscore moments of moral ambiguity and emotional complexity. Characters emerge from darkness into light, or vice versa, reflecting shifts in trust, revelation, and inner turmoil. This chiaroscuro effect aligns with classic film noir traditions, infusing the story with a visual language that complements its thematic depth. The interplay of illumination and obscurity speaks to the characters' journeys through uncertainty and revelation. Speed and motion, central to the film's kinetic energy, also carry symbolic weight. The relentless pace of chases and escapes mirrors the characters' urgent desire to outrun their pasts and seize control of their futures. Motion becomes a metaphor for change and transformation, as well as the impermanence of freedom. The fleeting nature of speed highlights the transient moments where the characters feel truly alive, and the inevitable return to consequence. Risk is another motif woven throughout the story, embodied in the characters' high-stakes choices and the ever-present danger of their world. The narrative explores risk not only as physical danger but as a philosophical concept tied to trust, loyalty, and survival. The willingness to gamble everything reflects deeper questions about what is worth fighting for and the costs of freedom. This exploration adds a layer of existential tension, enriching the story's emotional complexity. The characters themselves function as symbols within this thematic web. The protagonist embodies the archetype of the flawed hero, skilled, determined, but haunted by past mistakes and driven by love and loyalty. His brother represents youthful recklessness and vulnerability, a catalyst for change and a mirror to the older sibling's sense of responsibility. The crew members each bring facets of trust, betrayal, and survival, reflecting the diverse human responses to pressure and danger. Together, they create a mosaic of resilience and fragility. The film's plot and characters are inseparable from these themes and symbols, with each event and interaction layered with meaning. The heists, the betrayals, the chases, while thrilling on the surface, serve as conduits for exploring deeper questions about identity, choice, and consequence. The narrative's pacing, oscillating between frantic action and moments of introspection, mirrors the characters' emotional journeys. This integration of theme and story ensures that every scene contributes to a cohesive and resonant whole. For example, the protagonist's return to the life of theft is not merely a plot necessity but a symbolic confrontation with his own limitations and hopes. The escalating tension between him and his brother reflects the broader theme of familial loyalty strained by circumstance. The betrayals within the crew dramatize the fragility of trust in a world ruled by risk and survival. The climactic chase sequences become metaphors for the ultimate test of skill, courage, and moral resolve. This thematic richness enhances the film's emotional resonance, inviting audiences to engage beyond the surface thrills. Viewers are drawn into a story that speaks to universal human experiences: the longing for freedom, the complexity of love, the pain of betrayal, and the hope for redemption. The symbolism woven throughout the narrative provides layers to uncover, rewarding attentive viewing and reflection. In essence, the film's themes and symbolism transform it from a straightforward action tale into a compelling exploration of the human condition under pressure. The narrative invites us to consider how we navigate the tensions between control and chaos, loyalty and self-preservation, past regrets and future possibilities. Through its visual language and character arcs, the story becomes a vivid portrait of resilience, risk, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. Ultimately, these elements work in harmony to create a cinematic experience that is thrilling, thought-provoking, and emotionally powerful. The themes of freedom, loyalty, trust, and redemption resonate through every stolen car, every pulse-racing chase, and every quiet moment of connection. The symbolism enriches the story's texture, deepening our understanding of the characters and their world. This interplay between theme and narrative is what gives the film its lasting impact, a story that races beyond the screen into the realm of the timeless. Though safety was paramount, the nature of the maneuvers meant that near misses were inevitable. During one particularly harrowing sequence involving a high-speed jump over a moving train, the margin for error was razor-thin. The stunt driver executed the jump flawlessly, but the tension on set was palpable as everyone held their breath. Stories like this became part of the production lore, reminders of the fine line between spectacle and disaster. These moments underscored the professionalism and courage of the team, who trusted each other implicitly to push boundaries safely. Injuries, while rare, did occur and tested the resilience of the cast and crew. The lead actor suffered a bruised rib during a particularly intense chase scene, but insisted on returning to the set as soon as possible. His determination was emblematic of the production's overall ethos, pushing through pain and exhaustion to deliver a film that felt visceral and authentic. Medical personnel were on constant standby, ready to intervene but often kept busy with minor scrapes and bruises that became badges of honor among the team. Creative problem-solving was a hallmark of the production's approach. When faced with unexpected obstacles, whether a sudden change in weather or a mechanical failure, the crew adapted swiftly. One famous anecdote recounts how a critical car broke down just before a pivotal chase scene. Rather than delay, the team improvised by modifying another vehicle on the spot, adjusting camera angles and choreography to maintain continuity. This resourcefulness kept the production on schedule and ensured the film's momentum never faltered. The director played a crucial role in maintaining morale and vision amid the chaos. Known for his hands-on style, he was often found on set collaborating closely with stunt coordinators, cameramen, and actors. His enthusiasm and clear vision galvanized the team, inspiring confidence even during the toughest days. He encouraged experimentation and improvisation, understanding that some of the most memorable moments would arise from the unpredictable nature of live stunts and dynamic interactions. This openness created an atmosphere where creativity flourished alongside discipline. Music and sound were also areas where the production team excelled in collaboration. The sound designers and composers worked in tandem with editors and directors to weave an auditory experience that matched the film's kinetic energy. Recording sessions often involved on-set musicians and sound engineers capturing ambient noises from the streets and engines, layering them into a rich tapestry that heightened immersion. The integration of sound and image was a continuous conversation throughout post-production, reflecting the film's holistic creative process. Among the lighter behind-the-scenes moments was the unexpected role of weather in shaping the film's aesthetic. Rather than viewing sudden rainstorms as setbacks, the crew embraced these conditions to add texture and mood. One iconic rain-soaked chase was actually a happy accident, filmed on a day when unexpected showers turned slick streets into a treacherous playground. The added reflections and wet surfaces intensified the visual drama, proving that sometimes nature's unpredictability can become a cinematic asset. Fan engagement also became an informal yet meaningful part of the production experience. The cast and crew often interacted with early fans and car enthusiasts during location shoots and promotional events, building a grassroots excitement that extended beyond traditional marketing. These encounters fostered a sense of community and appreciation that fueled the team's passion, reminding them of the film's broader cultural impact. The enthusiasm from fans translated into a palpable energy on set, where every stunt and scene carried the weight of audience expectation. As filming progressed, the lines between work and life blurred for many involved. The intense schedule and shared challenges created a familial atmosphere, with crew members often socializing off-set, sharing meals, and exchanging stories. These bonds became a support network, vital for sustaining morale through long nights and physically demanding shoots. The sense of shared purpose and friendship added a layer of humanity to the production, grounding the film's high-octane energy in genuine connection. Looking back, the production's success was a testament to the dedication, skill, and resilience of everyone involved. From the lead actors who embraced the physical demands of their roles to the mechanics who kept the vast fleet running, and from the stunt coordinators who choreographed daring feats to the director who maintained a clear vision, each person's contribution was essential. Their collective efforts transformed a complex, risky undertaking into a cohesive, electrifying film that continues to captivate audiences. The stories from the set, of laughter amid tension, close calls turned triumphs, and bonds forged in fire, add a rich subtext to the movie's legacy. They reveal a production that was not just about cars and action, but about people coming together to push boundaries, take risks, and create something extraordinary. These behind-the-scenes insights deepen our appreciation of the film, reminding us that the magic on screen is the result of countless moments of human courage, creativity, and connection. In the end, the making of this film stands as a remarkable journey, a testament to what can be achieved when passion meets perseverance. The challenges faced and overcome, the friendships formed, and the sparks of inspiration that flew during those intense days and nights all contribute to the movie's lasting impact. This behind-the-scenes story is itself a thrilling ride, full of surprises and heart, echoing the very spirit of the film it helped bring to life. Beneath the gleaming chrome and roaring engines of this story lies a rich undercurrent of themes and symbolism that pulse through every scene, weaving a tapestry of meaning that elevates it beyond a mere action spectacle. This is a tale not just about speed and heists, but about the complex interplay of freedom and confinement, loyalty and betrayal, past and redemption. Exploring these themes reveals the deeper emotional and philosophical layers embedded within the narrative, inviting the audience to connect with the characters and their struggles on a profoundly human level. At its core, the story is a meditation on freedom, the elusive, often contradictory nature of escape. The characters race through city streets and highways not merely to evade law enforcement or rival criminals, but to reclaim a sense of autonomy that life has threatened to strip away. The cars they steal, the routes they navigate, and the risks they take become metaphors for this pursuit. Each stolen vehicle is a fleeting symbol of liberation, a tangible embodiment of the desire to break free from the constraints of circumstance and choice. Yet, freedom in this world is double-edged. The very act of theft, the dangerous games played on tight schedules, and the constant pressure of looming consequences reveal the paradox of their existence. The characters are simultaneously liberated by their skills and trapped by the very life they lead. This tension between control and chaos runs through the narrative, mirrored in the winding highways and claustrophobic alleys they traverse. The setting itself becomes a metaphorical landscape of freedom's fragile boundaries.